It's time to get dirty. Hello, my writing pals. It's me, your girl, Xanna. And today I'm going to share 5 things that you should know about dirty drafting. First up, what is dirty drafting? Dirty drafting is another name and type of a rough draft, of a first draft. The mindset in calling it a dirty draft is understanding that this draft of your story, this first draft, sometimes some people will also call it a zero draft, is going to be messy. It's going to be dirty. There are going to be lots of problems with it, but it's there and it's done. Hence, dirty draft. It's acknowledging the fact that the first draft of your story is going to be dirty. I'm going to tell you why this type of draft is actually really beneficial for you, because you may hear, oh my goodness, a dirty draft, and like messy, like that sounds like a lot of work. That sounds like I'm going to have a lot of work that I'm going to have to do in the future. We're going to touch on that. One of the main things that I can tell you about doing a dirty draft, one of the best perks about it, is that it is faster. When you dirty draft, you kind of just vomit everything onto the page, into Scrivener, into Word, into Google Docs, into Campfire or World Anvil, whatever you are using to write your story, you vomit it upon that beautiful, pristine white page. And what this will do is this will help you learn how to finish projects. If it is one thing that has really been drilled into me by my own personal convictions as a writer, and also by my professors in university. I am a creative writing major. I am going to school with this. I almost have my degree. Like, I am this close to just being able to shove it into the people's faces that said that if I took a gap year because I was sick, their words, not mine, that I would never get my bachelor's and I would be a failure and never succeed in life. I am so close to just shoving it in their face. I am so excited for that. Don't be spiteful, people. Spite is a wonderful motivator, but don't be spiteful. The thing that we are taught the most, getting back to what I was saying, is that it is important to learn how to finish projects. I see a lot in the writing community, and I'm pretty sure a lot of it is just joking, but even still is the, oh, I've got so many ideas, I have so many works in progress going on right now that I'll never be able to finish them all. Or, oh, I got this bright, shiny new idea and I'm going to pursue this and I'm going to throw away my work right now, is that is really dangerous to, one, do if you're actually doing it. Let's chat about it. Let's have a nice discussion about it in the comments. But it doesn't teach you how to finish projects. And learning how to finish a project is insanely important. Because if you're continually giving up project after project after project, you're never going to get anything done. There are times when it is best in your best interest and in your book's best interest to set it aside, to not end up getting it all ready to publish. Right now, I have one book on the shelf that I have shelved. I have another book that is making its way towards the shelf as I'm realizing that maybe the market just isn't quite ready for it yet, and I have another round of revisions to do that I just don't have the time to do. But finishing projects is incredibly important. And dirty drafting is a great way to learn how to finish projects because you're just getting it down. Doesn't matter how dirty it is, you are getting it done. The next key point in what makes a dirty draft is that you learn how to move on. I know authors or writers, myself included, who get stuck in editing. And I don't really think there's too much of a problem with going back and editing a little bit and then, continuing on. But going back to the completing a project thing, if you are continually just stuck in editing and you're always reworking the same sections, you aren't going to finish your project. Or it's going to take you way longer to finish than if you had just finished the project, had it all done, knew what needed to be done for the entire thing, and then went back and did your edits. Because if you're editing as you're going and you aren't finishing it, there's a very good chance that you're going to come up against another detail as you're writing. That means that you need to go back and do changes and reworking all of that all over again. And it's kind of frustrating to see because I feel it makes me sad. I don't want to see people continually struggling with reworking. And sometimes it does need to be done. I've done it a few times, but it's been very small things. I encourage you to, if you come up against something where you know that you're going to need to edit it majorly later is to make a note about it and continue on. Again, it is so important that we as writers learn how to finish projects. It is crazy important. Make notes about what needs to be changed and continue on, pretending like you made that change. And if you come up against something, again, make another note about it. Put those notes at the start of your story and have them continue like on a little sticky note on your desktop, either a physical one or a virtual one, about the changes that need to be made when you go through and do your first couple of rounds of editing. Save those things for your editing rounds. Get your first dirty draft done. Finish your story. Number 4 kind of ties into the last point and learning how to move on, is that no matter what you do, you will have to edit your book. It doesn't matter how great your first draft is. If you think it's a masterpiece, if you think that there's nothing wrong with it, you just want to publish it into the world right away, please do not. Do not. Every single book should go through rounds of editing. Professional authors that you know and love and you are amazed by their works, they go through editing. Editing is just a process that needs to be done. We are humans. We make mistakes constantly, consistently. I keep putting apostrophes in words that don't even have apostrophes because my pinky just likes to hit the key. It's like, I like this job. Woohoo! Apostrophes everywhere! It's like, no, my pinky needs to chill. We make mistakes everywhere in our manuscript. Even, like, I've misspelled my main character's name before. Like, there are mistakes in the book. There will be big mistakes where you're gonna feel like an idiot. There can be small mistakes, like your pinky just hitting the apostrophe key every 3 words because la-di-da-di-da is fun. Don't let the fear of having to do editing keep you from just moving on and keep you from just doing a dirty draft. I will put notes in brackets in the manuscript in bold of insert more information about this scene later because I'm stuck on it and I just move on. It's freeing. It's nice. I make notes for myself to go back to later because I just want to get the story done. A quote I really like saying is, the first draft of your story is you telling the story to yourself. The second draft is getting it ready for telling other people. The first draft is for you. You're telling yourself the story. Even if you've outlined every single scene, every single detail, you still kind of have to figure out your story as you're writing it. And editing will need to be done. So just don't worry about it. You're gonna have to edit your stuff. And I'll be able to help you with that soon. Shameless future plug. My own editing services that are coming up. The 5th thing I will talk about dirty drafting, here's the con that everyone has probably already been thinking, is that sometimes dirty drafting does make editing take longer because you have a little bit more stuff to clean up. You have more areas that you have to flesh out. But in the end, I do think it's worth it because it's easier, because you have your whole story. You know how it's ending. You've got the beginning, the middle, the end. It's all done. You know what you're building up to. It makes it easier for putting in Easter eggs and cute little hidden things that you can foreshadow. That's the word, foreshadowing. Wow, I'm so smart. You can foreshadow things a lot easier when your entire book is done. So yeah, while you may have a little bit more work to do, overall, I think that work is a lot easier because you got the hardest thing done. You got the whole book written. You finished your project. I hope that over the course of this video, I've maybe convinced you to give dirty drafting a shot. I know it seems stressful at first, but honestly, when I first learned about dirty drafting, it felt like a huge relief to me because I think newbie Xanna thought that everything had to be perfect, that everything I wrote had to be perfect, and I couldn't move on from a chapter or a scene until everything was perfect. And learning that dirty drafting was a thing gave me the freedom to just write the story I wanted to tell and understand that I could make it pretty later. Just get your stories done. It's an amazing feeling. It's great. And at that point, you definitely feel a lot more successful, and editing feels almost rewarding at that point. Now, I do understand that editing as you go is okay, and as I've already noted in this video, I am totally fine with writing a scene, waiting a day, and going back and working through it. But honestly, just fix surface layer things. If you realize that you have a major plot hole 30 chapters back, make a note that you need to fix it and keep going. Don't let the anxiety of it being there gnaw at your brain and force you to go back and work through every single chapter to fix it. Get your story done. I don't think I can stress enough that I just want you to get your story done. Get it written. Doesn't matter how dirty it is. No one is going to be reading it aside from you and maybe some alpha readers, because please do not publish your first draft. That is the other thing I want to stress in this video, is that every book that is good gets edited. Every author nowadays who understands the writing process knows that editing is a step that needs to be done. Do not let editing intimidate you. It'll be fine. Finish your story. I bet I'm getting annoying at this point. Who's even watching at this point? Probably Carthorex. Hey Carthorex, how you doing? Carthorex is my patron. Hi buddy, how are you? Thanks for helping me buy food every month with your donation. Love you, bud. Anywho, my name is Xanna. I'm a writer here on the YouTubes. I'm very passionate about just getting your project done. You can follow me on all of my socials. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at XannasBooks. I'm on TikTok at WitchDrXanna. You can support me on Patreon at patreon.com/XannasBooks. I've got fun projects in the works coming up. I'm going to be formally announcing my collection of short stories and poems. I am going to be formally announcing the business that I am opening, that I'm excited about. Do I have any other notes that I usually say at the end of my video? Usually I go on autopilot and I just like fire through everything like my pinky hitting that apostrophe key. I didn't do that this time, so I'm like trying to go through it in my head, like what do I have to say? I know how I'm gonna end it. You ready for it? Ready? Ready? Bye.